Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. I am moving my arm, and I have to use my arm, bloody thing, to go over here and turn my bedinger off because I need to charge it again. Of course.
Power off.
So, at least it's on then. I'm able to use my arm, of course. I mean, I've been able to do so for a while. It's just pain issue. What I can do, what I can't do, what I can carry, what I can't carry, what nerves are irritated. After yesterday, I was thinking I was going to be in so much trouble today. No, it's actually feeling pretty good. I mean, all I did to irritate my nerve yesterday was sit improperly in a chair, which is to say I sat normally in a normal chair, which when I sit, for whatever reason, the way that it moves, you know, my spine and my neck and all that, the way when I sit, because that's different from standing, the way things hang and press, it really irritates all of this. So the moment I sit in any chair, this goes off. I'm able to sit properly in this chair so that it doesn't hurt a lot, but I tried sitting in a normal chair in a normal fashion, and that set it off bad. And then trying to do the MRI, I mean, it was okay. It was actually okay. Lying on my back is bad. And I've talked about this before. There is gating theory. Now, a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I need to re-Google because this is stuff I learned, ages back. And there's new research being done. But talking about from my understanding of ages back, gating is like you have pathways through your nerves in your bodies. And if pain goes along the main channel, other signals are bumped down to lower priority. So here, if my arm is up here using the main channels, the back pain has to go down to a secondary or optional channel. My lower back, bonk into my controller, I gotta move that so I don't accidentally turn things off. My low back has hurt since 2003 when I became disabled, but for about 2 decades before that. It's been 40 some odd years I've had lower back pain. When periods like this occur, my back doesn't hurt. Gating. The pathways that my back pain goes along, they got bumped down to the secondary or optional channels so that this could take over. All of the main channels were taken over by this. So I've been rumbling around in my walker, I've been walking on my own, I've been doing all sorts of stuff, and I have not felt any lower back pain at all. This past 2 weeks, my back has been causing more and more pain and irritation because this is no longer taking up the main channels. This is getting bumped down into secondary or optional channels. And back pain is getting back up into the main channel. So that's been fun. It depends on the day. I think the actual MRI day, my back hurt walking to the hospital. My back felt nothing walking back from the hospital because this was screaming. So thumbs up on that. I just wanted to mention how that thing goes with gating and such. And then, when I was recording my video about the walkies on the path, the last one I did, I kept laughing about how I would get dizzy. And then go, did I mention I'm a fall risk? Because even without gabapentin, I have been at a fall risk. Because I have neuropathy in my legs, especially with my right, it will occasionally, like the last time that I fell bad and ripped up my hands and my arm, is because my foot lifted up, went about 6 inches forward, and then spiked into the ground. And that was the leg that I was already supposed to be stepping onto in my step, and suddenly it's buckled because it spiked. So I went down and I crashed, and I am at a fall risk, unfortunately. So gabapentin makes that even worse, because it was bad dizziness, and if I fall, that's bad. So, I mean, we'll go tumbling down these hills, and they can be like 25, 30 feet before you come crashing down into the water, and these are bad hills. You've watched the videos, so thumbs up. But yeah, gabapentin, I was looking that up. It's weight gain as well. I have gained weight quickly, and I had lost weight in the beginning. I have gained weight now. What's the difference? Gabapentin. So yeah, and I've even got it right here. It's like the possible ones: dizziness, fatigue, and drowsiness. This is big, remember this. And then of course sexual dysfunction, weight gain, peripheral edema, swelling of your hands and feet. My left leg is a tree trunk, and it's since I started gabapentin it's built up. Because I had been doing good even after the cellulitis in that leg, which I think is also coming back. Sexual dysfunction, I'm not married. I don't have anyone to test that on. And then weight gain, oh yeah. But then there's uncommonly, gabapentin causes blurred vision. My vision has gotten blurrier. I mean, I have real difficulties reading even like this, and even before I was doing gabapentin at this distance, I could read it, but it was difficult. Even now, it's really hard to read even at that distance. So, gabapentin for the win. Now, let me check and see what else I have. Oh God, this is why I don't actually have a whole lot to talk about. I got home yesterday around 3:30, sat in the chair, did a little bit of chatting, and then I fell asleep. Remember when I mentioned gabapentin? Yeah, with the side effect of fatigue and drowsiness. Yeah, I woke up at 7:30 in my chair. I had drooled all over the front of me because I was just like this. My neck back here hurt. I can't remember if I've mentioned that when I fall asleep in my chair here, my neck will hurt. Not like this. It's like take a line through your shoulders and then bisect them straight. So you know you've got an X. That line that goes straight back this way, that's what hurts. It's purely muscle from fatigue from my head hanging. You know, it's different from any of this other stuff entirely. So I woke up at 7:30, was like, oh my gosh, I sure hope I can do some things because I have been asleep all day. And then I fell asleep again after getting up, going to the bathroom, changing my shirt, and I woke up around midnight. So I fell asleep again. And of course, drooled all over the front of my shirt. I hate that. Number one, I don't like falling asleep because I mentioned how my neck hurt when I woke up at 7:30. Oh my God, did my neck hurt last night at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, when I woke up at midnight-ish. Because my head had been hanging for 9 hours like this. And your head is heavy. Your brain alone is 3 pounds. And then you've got the bone. You got all of this stuff up here. You would be terrified. It is bizarre how much of this front of your head is purely optional. Because I have seen pictures of people who've had fungus infections in their sinuses. If you get a fungal infection in your sinuses, oh my God, do you know what they have to do to save you? Largely, they may have to do surgery. I have seen pictures of people who, from their upper lip to up here, side to side, it's gone. Deep pits about this deep in their head. Their eyes, their sinuses removed, and it is a deep pit. this is all optional. If you've ever seen anyone with their jaw missing, that's optional, because you can live without a jaw. So you got a jaw gone, you got all this stuff, there's just an upper plate, but really you don't need that either. And so your head is heavy and it hurts your neck if it hangs. I'm doing pretty good. I can feel right up here in the base of my neck back there, it feels, remember that it hurts-y, but not painful. So that's good. But past that, I did nothing. I had my MRI. I talked about my MRI in my MRI update video last night. So that's all the information about the MRI if you want to check that out. But past that, I fell asleep. I have been out. So, I mean, the only things that are left to talk about are I have no ideas what is happening with the housing situation because my housemates largely don't talk to me. I see them periodically, then we get a little bit of information, but I kind of have to drag it out of them. Life is life. I need to contact the VA HUD-VASH people, which are the people that deal with homeless vets, and find out exactly, because I have mentioned how my therapist keeps telling me all the time about the one vet who slept in his car for 24 hours and then the next day the VA swooped in and he was homed. I gotta contact the HUD-VASH people and find out if that will work for me up here in Shelton. Because if I can get my stuff into the storage center, if I can get myself a hotel room so I don't have to actually live on the street, if that counts and the HUD-VASH people will leap in, then that'll be good. But if they don't, then I'll have to discover exactly what I can and can't do. So, until I know, I am still in the air about the situation. I could lose everything. The HUD-VASH people could leap in and help me. I might end up in a hotel room trying desperately to find some housing, and there is very little. So, we shall see what happens. Past that, I mean, I've tried to do as much creative thinking as I could, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, I think when I can about the setting, so the setting is still rich. I did a lot of thinking, actually, on one of my characters, Iron John, who is a human, Iron John, who is an artificial person, except where they came from, the civilization and the layer they were on, they had figured out how to make artificial people, but they weren't artificial, you're still a human being. You have that same identical quantum knotting that any other human being has. They're just created in an artificial fashion with a shell. There is a neurogel that will differentiate itself into muscle and nerve. And that, well, not muscle, but it'll help do stuff because mechanical bodies. And it helps aid with that, and it works with the whole nerve stuff. And then you have inside of your head, there's the neural mod, which is largely just the all the part of the brain that isn't make you smart. Because we have white and gray stuff, white and gray matter inside of your head that is largely entirely dealing with making sure that all of the signals going in and out just work properly. You wouldn't be alive without it, but it's not cognitive stuff. The cognitive part is their neurochip, which is grown in a very organic fashion. It's crystalline, so the crystals grow in their own particular fashion, which causes a personality. And they put the neural chip into the neural mod, insert the neural mod into the shell, the chip, and everything works together. The signals come through, your body starts to function, and in a couple years, you actually become a person. Just like a baby becomes a person. And then you go out and do society and you function. And John was one of those people. Artificial person, ended up at an industrial plant that the entire civilization they had very, very, very socialistic. And so the industrial plant that they worked in, just trading contracts with everybody else for everything they need. Oh, these people need stuff, we can provide it. Oh, these people provide the things we need, let's trade for it. And so it was just all that going on. And John ended up there and through just proficiency proved that they were a very, very capable and light floor manager. And so they became a floor manager. They ended up having to do some managerial work, and they also proved to be very good at the managerial work. And so half the time they would work the floor, half the time they would work in the managerial part. And that's when they picked up the name of Big John. And so Big John was in charge. And then when they came up with this new material, K-Fab, the ferrous alloy, and then it's a polymer, and so ferrous material, and this stuff can withstand 100,000 years before it even begins to show wear and tear. When they make shells, new bodies for various people, just as a, hey, look what we can do, your brain is still only going to last for 74 average years. The body is just a, hey, look what we can do thing. It's going to outlast your death by hundreds of thousands of years. So what they plan on doing is just, when you die, put it back, the shell back into rotation, and then they can give it out to a new person. When Big John gets his shell, he becomes Iron John. Everybody at the plant is super duper proud of him. He's well liked, and everybody likes him. Of course, I just said he was well liked. He's good at his job. He's got the shell with the promotion and all this stuff. Yes, he becomes Iron John. Unfortunately, I have mentioned that you can really boil down existential and cosmic horror into an object, a person, a place, or a situation that is doing something, all these things that we cannot understand. Doing something or simply existing in a fashion we cannot comprehend, with little or no safety, with little or no care for human safety or life. I said that in an awful way, but it's not. An object, a person, a place, or location simply existing in a fashion that we cannot. And these things that we cannot understand, simply existing or doing something in a fashion we cannot understand with little or no regard for human life. Hopefully I said that better. Because this is the razor's edge, and there is the creative energy from the inside roaring through and filling the razor's edge before it gets down converted and goes to the outside. And you have regular energy from the outside roaring into the razor's edge and being up converted before passing through. And there is this static energy that is the entirety of this universe between the universes that the razor's edge is made out of. Life on the razor's edge is chaos, which is why I have said that you are living on the bleeding edge of an untamable, unending frontier, because you have all these energies and they are constantly doing things. The static energy is dangerous because it has to arc and discharge violently before it can function in its creative fashion. But as I've mentioned before, time is a thing. If you take all of the body that if you take all the energy that the human body it creates in our 70-odd average year lifespan, and you put it down into 1 second, that's going to be one hell of an explosion. Stretch it out for 1,000 years, you wouldn't even know it's there. This huge mass of energy funnels downward through the location, the plant, the situation, Iron John in his shell, the location. They are isolated on their lair, and all this energy focuses down into Iron John over a 10,000 year period during which they are isolated on their layer, and Iron John goes down into his low power state, expecting never to exist, to die with everyone else. But he wakes up 1.4 million years later. And of course, I'll talk more on that because I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. And I would like to thank soon, very soon, oh my gosh, very soon, I'm going to be writing up here again names of my Patreon patrons. And thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you, everybody who donates to my GoFundMe. Thank you, everybody, in every way that shows me any form of support, either through comments or donations. It is incredibly, incredibly appreciated. Now let me see if I can actually find my list of people. There we are. I can actually... No, these are the same now. I cannot read. Can I read off here? No, because the large monitor back there I have set at 1920 by 1080, so my little screen on the laptop is at that too. Let's try. It's better this way a little bit. Miguel 10069, thumbs up. Made in Canada, I am very, very glad that you are able to find things out. It is good to know. And definitely a thumbs up, and good to see you in the comments. We have Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. And Hokey Smokes, that game, I love the game Dead Island. It is absolutely awesome. If you can get it in any fashion, I would suggest it. In fact, get Dead Island 2, and get Dying Light, and Dying Light 2. Very, very cool, all of them. I haven't played Dying Light 2 or Dead Island 2. I've got Dying Light, and I've played that, and I'm going through Dead Island, as you see. I'm just enthusiastic. There is a Jan12491 who had some very good ideas, very, very cool, and then It's Rillet with a 1. Hokey Smokes, good to see you. J3759, JAYY3759. Now everyone's got numbers in their names. Is that supposed to happen? Synthetic Reality 549, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up. Blunt Lord 4673. If I leave a comment, am I going to have numbers after my name? There is Iga Tepro. Thumbs up and thank you. 33 Interzona. Greatly appreciated. The Wrath of Melba, who has the same PFP, avatar type thing as R.I.P. Mitchell. So I don't know. And then there's Jan12491. Oh yeah, that was the same one. Thumbs up, thank you. Chris 69226. I have no ideas. What is going on? Why do they have numbers after everything? I am confused. But thank you each and every person that left me comments in the last 24 hours. I am greatly, greatly appreciated. And on the back of my desktop right now isn't my desktop. I have some tabs open on my Firefox, and this one is Disabled Duck. Finally find someone she can relate to. And it's GeoBeats Animals, and it's about a couple disabled ducks who were able to find friendship with each other. I like watching videos about animals. What can I say? Oh my gosh, 24 minutes in. Hey, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to try and get in contact with the HUD-VASH people so I can find out exactly how true that thing that my therapist tells me in, and if it is true, what I have to do, and if it isn't true, how they can help me. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. That would be a very good thing. I'm trying to use my arm as much as possible, as you've noticed, and then resting it when it just gets too much. I've got to keep pushing. I've got to keep pushing, but I got to be so careful. So careful. I mean, just sitting in a chair yesterday, and oh my God, the whole thing just was on fire. So I got to do what I can. I mean, just touching it back there, I shouldn't have done that. Once I did that, the whole entirety of the nerve went sparkle down like that. So, yay. But still, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. I can't even remember how I do that anymore. Oh, Gabapentin for the win. Anyway, though, now that I have to turn this on, you take care, and I will see you, and that is a good thing.